If you own a rental property in Prince George and you're thinking about selling it, there is one conversation that could save you thousands of dollars and a serious legal headache, and most sellers never have it until it's too late. Today I'm walking through exactly what the BC Residential Tenancy Act says about selling a tenanted property, what you legally can and cannot do, and the exact steps you need to follow so you do not expose yourself to liability. This is the stuff that matters, whether you are an investor looking to exit a property in the VLA or Miller Edition, or a homeowner who has been renting out your place and is now ready to sell. Here's the number one misconception I hear from sellers in Prince George. I want to sell my property vacant, so I'm just going to give my tenant notice to leave. That's not how it works, not even close. Promising a buyer vacant possession without establishing the strict legal grounds to back it up exposes you to the immediate lawsuits from the buyer and severe bad faith penalties from the province. That's not hypothetical, that's legislation. Here is why. When you sell a property that has a tenant in it, the tenancy agreement does not end automatically. It runs with the land. On closing day, the buyer automatically steps into your shoes as the new landlord. They inherit the exact same tenancy agreement you had. Nothing changes for the tenant just because ownership changes hands. Your tenant does not have to leave simply because you want to sell. So let us talk about the one legal pathway that actually allows you to ask them to. Under the BC Residential Tenancy Act, there is only one valid way to end tenancy for a sale. It's called purchaser's use, and it lives under Section 49, Bracket 5 of the Act. This pathway is protected by three non-negotiable conditions. If any single condition is missing, the eviction is completely invalid. It does not matter how reasonable your reasons are. If the conditions are not met, the notice does not hold. So here are the three gates you have to clear before a single notice is generated. Gate 1 is a bona fide sale with cleared subjects. You cannot give notice speculatively. A legitimate documented purchase agreement must be finalized, and all buyer subjects, financing, inspection, everything must be fully satisfied or waived. Gate 2 is obtaining the buyer's written request. The purchaser must formally and in writing request that the seller serve the tenant with notice to vacate. This is not a phone call, it has to be documented in writing. And Gate 3 is generating the notice itself, and this is where a lot of sellers get tripped up, which brings me to my next slide. All three gates must be cleared before a single notice goes out. Here's the part that catches most people off guard, and it's critical. You cannot hand your tenant a letter you typed up. You cannot use an old PDF you downloaded off the internet. Those are legally void from day one. They are completely unenforceable. Eviction notices for purchasers' use must be generated exclusively through the BC Landlord Use Web Portal. The correct form is the RTB 32P. If it does not come out of that portal, it does not count. The government mandates an auditable paper trail for every single eviction. That is why the portal exists, so do not skip it. If you are unsure how to use it, your real estate agent or real estate lawyer in Prince George can walk you through it step by step, and there is numerous online resources from the BC Tenancy Board that can give you step-by-step instruction on how to put this through. Once the notice is properly served through the portal, the clock starts running on two tracks simultaneously. Track 1 is the dispute window. The tenant has 21 days from the date they received the notice to file a challenge with the Residential Tenancy Branch. After those 21 days close without a dispute, the notice stands. Track 2 is the mandatory notice period. For a notice, the tenant is entitled to a minimum of 3 months before they are required to vacate. That 3-month window is the governing timeline for your listing strategy. If you want a specific possession date, you need to work backward from there. Build the notice period into your plan before you list, not after. One more thing on the financial side, and this one surprises a lot of sellers. During the 3-month notice period, the tenant is legally required to continue paying rent for months 1 and 2. But here is what people miss. The tenant is legally entitled to exactly 1 month of free rent as compensation for the disruption. This is written into the legislation. It is not optional and it's not negotiable. Standard practice is straightforward. You simply do not charge rent for the final month of the tenancy. That satisfies the compensation requirement and keeps the relationship clean going into possession. Now let's talk about showings, because this is where a lot of well-intentioned sellers create unnecessary friction. You need to show the property to get it sold, but your tenant has legal right to what is called quiet enjoyment. Traditional unstructured open houses every Sunday are highly problematic in tenanted sales. A parade of strangers walking through on short notice is a violation of that right. A tenant whose quiet enjoyment is violated can file a complaint with the Residential Tenancy Branch. That complaint can derail your transaction and delay your close. It is not worth the risk. For the most part, you have two options for handling showings, and one is clearly better than the other. The recommended approach is to negotiate a structured schedule directly with your tenant. Agree on set weekly windows, documented in writing, and both sides know exactly what to expect. Tenant goodwill stays high, your compliance burden stays low, and the legal safety is high. If you cannot agree on a schedule, the fallback is formal written notice for every single showing. That notice must be delivered 24 to 48 hours in advance and must state the specific date, the time window, and the legal reason for entry. Tenant goodwill is lower, your effort is higher, and the compliance burden is strict. Proactive communication beats reactive friction every time. The negotiated schedule is always the safest path. So here's the full sequence laid out from start to finish. Node 1, secure a bona fide sale and clear all subjects. Number 2, obtain the buyer's written request for vacant possession. Number 3, generate the RTB 32P notice exclusively through the BC Landlord Use Web Portal. Number 4, serve the notice and clear the 21-day dispute window. Number 5, manage the 3-month notice period and handle property showings with proper written notice. Number 6, finalize the 1-month compensation by waiving the final month of rent. Follow that sequence and you arrive at liability-free vacant possession on closing day. Navigating the real estate market doesn't have to be stressful. I have free seller's guides if you're planning on listing, relocation guides for everyone moving to Prince George, and if you want more tailored information, ask about my home buyers program. On top of the buyer's guide, I'll send you exclusive weekly videos and emails to walk you through the process step by step. Just comment the word guide, tell me exactly which one fits your situation, and I'll send the link right over. And when you're actually ready to look at homes or list your property, the easiest way to connect is call, text, or email. All those details are in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.